He is wearing a more comic book accurate red suit, but it's hard to tell if he's just wearing a jacket over a very accurate suit or if it's just meant to be a big change from a comic book accurate suit. I just did a big video about him and Scarlet Witch Elizabeth Olsen during the movie because in their X-Men universe, they're supposed to live on a Genosha that he is ruling as a royal family with a version of Wanda, a version of Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch, slightly different one, not the one from the MCU, different version. A version of Evan Peters' Quicksilver, and a version of Polaris. So even though it won't be a full House of M during Avengers Doomsday, they'll be going with House of M vibes with the royal family living on Genosha.
My favorite is House of M, but that would never happen.
Down below him is Patrick Stewart's Professor X. He doesn't have the yellow floaty chair, and the jacket that he's wearing isn't exactly as comic book accurate as some of the other X-Men suits, but still pretty close. Then Channing Tatum's Gambit definitely made a name for himself. They're revealing that this X-Men team that we see in Avengers Doomsday is his X-Men team, and they're the ones that probably saved him at the end of the movie. Just the way they're bringing all these different post-credit scenes together, these different groups, it seems like they're saying that that group of X-Men is the X-Men universe that Monica Rambeau wound up in at the end of the Marvels movie. Beneath him is Rebecca Romijn's Mystique, who is wearing an actual jacket, like she's not naked, like I said earlier. Then next to them, up at the top, Kelsey Grammer's Beast, the version that we saw in the Marvels post-credit scene. James Marsden's Cyclops below him, like I said, probably one of the most comic book accurate to his 90s costumes. There's been so much fan art of him wearing that suit, it's just a matter of time. I think we're all expecting them to do that comic book accurate version of Cyclops at some point. Beneath him is Alan Cummings' Nightcrawler. He's actually talked the most about the movie. Of all the actors, he's been talking so much that Marvel actually gave him a call and said to stop talking about things. Probably one of the biggest things he revealed is that Nightcrawler will have a fight with Mr. Fantastic using both of their powers. So imagine his stretchy powers going up against Nightcrawler's teleporting ability. This is actually one of the big benefits of movies with budgets that are this high, that they can do very, very comic book accurate versions of their fights on screen, like you would see in animation on X-Men 97. Also had great Nightcrawler action scenes during X-Men 97 Season 1. Beneath him is John Walker wearing the exact same suit that we saw him in during the Thunderbolts post-credit scene. Same thing with Ghost over on the far right, and beneath him is Falcon wearing the exact same suit that he had at the end of Captain America: Brave New World, probably repaired because they broke it in his last fight during that movie. Beneath him, Sentry, also exact same suit at the end of the Thunderbolts movie. Although you notice that he's back in Sentry form, because the whole idea is that Bob was afraid to go back into Sentry form at the end of the Thunderbolts movie because he was afraid of the Void. So something happens during the events of Avengers Doomsday to force him to go back into Sentry mode, regardless of what might happen with the Void. It will be very interesting to see how Doctor Doom deals with Sentry and Void because they're so powerful, but no doubt, because you know that Doctor Doom has to win at the end of Doomsday, so he has to steamroll all these characters at some point no matter what.
Doom began corrupting your entire world.
When it comes to who fights who and who wins which fight, there are a lot of plot reasons that you have to assume going into Secret Wars, because Doctor Doom comes in as God Emperor Doom. Then beneath Sentry, like I said, is Franklin Richards, the slightly older but still very young Franklin Richards, expecting them to age him up a little bit more after Secret Wars when we start seeing the Fantastic Four appear in movies in Marvel Phase 7. My assumption with him going forward, though, is that they want to keep him as young as possible without aging him up too quickly so that they can do stories with him as a young version of the character